It's a really healthy, fun environment, high energy, but our fans showing up the way that they did, creating one of the most electric environments in college gymnastics year one. Like, the future is so bright in that.
It's by far my favorite place to compete, like some of the most fun I have ever had. Just such an electric environment, and all the fans are so supportive. It's just a really fun environment. It's like a party. You can't replicate it anywhere else in the country.
It really is like a party here at Littlejohn Coliseum, a fifth consecutive sellout. Clemson fans showing up and showing out once again. The home opener for the 2025 Clemson Tiger Gymnastics season as we welcome you back inside Littlejohn Coliseum. Look, I remember speaking last season to head coach Amy Smith, and she said she wants every single meet to feel like a party. It's been like that tonight. This is fun, Sydney.
Well, it's feeling like a party. It is incredible how many fans are in here. It's so electric. What we heard them talking about earlier, I can really barely hear myself talk while everyone's competing. So this is the type of environment you want to have.
Yeah, some tremendous numbers in terms of sellouts and fans in attendance. A fifth consecutive sellout. We'll take a look at the breakdown. That inaugural meet last season against William & Mary, 8,018 fans. And it only went up from there. They averaged 8,631 fans, which is the gymnastics capacity at Littlejohn Coliseum the rest of the way. Total attendance last year, 11th in the NCAA, and that was in the first season of Clemson Gymnastics. And then tonight, a fifth consecutive sellout. There has been no drop-off in terms of fan support from Team 1 to Team 2, and Clemson has the lead through rotation number 1. The Tigers lead it 4-8-8-7-5, 4-8-7-2-5. Second rotation after this from Littlejohn. Littlejohn Coliseum, get a look at the student section. It is jam-packed here at Littlejohn Coliseum. Clemson leads it 4-8-8-7-5 to 4-8-7-2-5 through rotation number 1. All right, so rotation number 2, teams will switch events. Clemson on bars, Pitt heads to vault.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for both teams to just continue building off that first rotation that they had. We see that it's a tight competition. Every 10th counts. We are at the beginning of season, but every 10th counts all the time.
Jamie Pratt gets things started on our second rotation.
And she starts with that Yurchenko fall that we've seen a lot of here tonight. Slight feet shuffle on that landing right there. So that's going to be a deduction. Looks like her chest was a little bit down, but a nice start for Pitt on vault.
Over to bars, it is Lily Lippett. She made a lot of noise in the ACC last year as the newcomer of the year in 2024. And her first event of the night is bars.
Starting off strong with that handstand on top of the bar like the judges want to see. That huge release move, she does that right down to that overshoot on the low bar. It's a really difficult combination right there. Again, another handstand on top of the bar. So far, so good on this routine. Then that blindfolded double tuck. Wow, nails it with the stuck landing. That's what you want to see if you're in that Clemson bar lineup.
The three-time USA national team member showing her stuff in the leadoff spot.
Let's take another look here. Notice the height over the bar, an easy catch down straight to the low bar, and then this dismount, nice height over, and then drops into that stick.
What a way to start things off on bars for Clemson. Here's Olivia Genta, the freshman from Illinois, a four-time national qualifier. Last time out against Stanford, a career-high 9.775 on vaults.
Nice entry onto the table for that Yurchenko fall. I think that's the first duck fall we've seen tonight. So really nice landing. I like the body shape too throughout. Let's take another look here. Nice entry. You can see she's able to block off the table and twist, and then slightly pikes down on that landing. That's going to be a deduction, but she's able to hold the stick, so she makes up for it on that landing.
And they were doing that TikTok dance after, the weight one.
I've seen a lot of dances. Really impressed by that.
So we go back to bars. Here's Dakota Berry. Won the bars title at Pitt earlier this season. That was her first ever event win. Lily Lippett, a 9.85. What a leadoff score for Clemson.
A 9.85 is a really solid start. to this rotation. She did that Maloney right down to the pack. She's in a really good rhythm throughout this bar routine. She's gearing up, accelerating on those giants into a nice double out. Wow. It is loud in here. Everyone is cheering for those stuck dismounts. Let's take another look. Here's the release combination, that nice Maloney up to the high bar. She has enough power there to go down into that pack, and then nicely done double layout. Wow, and just can drop into it. Holds on to that stick though.
Back to vaults, it's Lila Pileggi, who is a neuroscience major, the freshman from Pennsylvania. Has only competed on vault this season, a 9.675 last time out against Stanford.
She does another Yurchenko full. Looked like she had that landing and then had to move her feet a little bit, couldn't quite hold on to it. So that's gonna be a deduction there. But other than that, really nicely done here. Through the air, she gets a lot of distance, but unfortunately it looked like she squat and her knees gave out. So the biggest deduction is gonna come from that landing.
Genta a 9.775 for Pitt. As we continue on, Eve Jackson will go third. What does it do for the rest of a lineup when the first two succeed the way that they did?
I was just going to say, sticks are contagious. That's what we always used to say. So far, the first two athletes have gone up and stuck their dismounts. I don't want to jinx it here, but sticks can be contagious.
9.775 for Dakota Berry. Here is Eve Jackson.
Starts off with a nice handstand into that really big straddle Jaeger. Saw that combination again like we've seen tonight. Low bar to high bar. Another nice handstand on top of the bar. She's doing a beautiful job through this routine. Tucked full. Oh, I thought she had it. Really pretty routine though. The smallest shift of her foot. We'll take a look from this angle, the handstand. She gets up, almost looks like she saved it from being over a little bit too much. But you wouldn't even be able to tell. And then another big double tuck with a full twist and just moves that foot a tiny bit.
Kennedy Duke, her second event of the night, now on vault. She was in all conference vaults, or back when Pitt was in the Eagle Conference in 2023. Now, of course, in year two in the ACC, here is Kennedy Duke.
And another Yurchenko full that we see. I really like that ball all the way throughout. Again, we've seen a lot of these Yurchenko fulls. But notice right here, she gets onto the table. The block, she gets an amplitude throughout. Also, she's able to drop into that landing. You don't see quite as much of a pike like we've seen on some of the other vaults. So nice job on that one.
Now the freshman Hannah Clark readies for Clemson, the ACC newcomer watch list honoree. Comes from a very athletic family. Her sister a gymnast at Arizona State. Brother and parents also collegiate athletes in their day.
Starts out with a piked Jaeger, right down to an overshoot. It looks like her hand just slipped on that. That's a really tough combination. I was gonna say the release move is really pretty. Her forehand throughout the routine is really pretty. Again, bars can be tough. It's just a slip of the hand can just change so much. So it looks like she's okay, thankfully.
Taking her time to get back up there, and she's back on the bars.
She did get back on the bars really quickly, so that's always a good sign. And I really like just the execution she's had throughout the routine. It's just so beautifully done. And the stuck dismount. So, wow, I really enjoy watching that bar routine. Unfortunately, she had that mishap. You can see right here, really nice release. And then again, just that hand slip. Never want to see something like that happen, but it seems like it maybe looked worse than it really was. She was able to get back on the bar quickly. And then really pretty dismount.
Right, short-term memory. Good to see her get back out there and finish strong as Jalea Bedminster readies on vaults. That last vault for Kennedy Duke in 9.8, highest score that we've seen for Pitt today at vault.
Notice just the explosiveness on that vault. That was one of the prettiest ones that we've seen tonight. The form throughout, the height. It was just a very explosive vault off the table right here. Take a look. Really like the body position through the air. Looked like she could have stuck it, but had to move her feet just a tiny bit. That's going to be a big score for Pitt.
Brings up Rebecca Wells, who last year was an NCAA qualifier as an all-arounder. This year was only competed on bars. Last time out, a season-high 9.85. Amy Smith told her she had the best preseason of her career so far. She was dinged up, but is hoping to see her pick up a couple of other events in the next couple of weeks.
She's one of my favorite gymnasts to watch. Just how she attacks each event, how she does her gymnastics. It's really impressive. So I'm excited to be able to watch her here tonight. And just the amount of things and good things that they all had to say about her from her teammates, from her coaches, is just awesome.
Judges still sorting things out for Clemson. Wells in the 5 spot of this bars lineup. One of those 6 gymnasts who followed Amy Smith from Utah State, transferred to Clemson. Take a look at the judges. Wells looks set.
And this is a little bit of a pressure situation from her. There was a fall ahead, so it's really important to stay focused and just stay in your own mindset and headspace to be able to knock out this routine. She does a huge Takachev release, back down to the low bar for that overshoot combination. Then again, that handstand. It's hard to tell from this angle if that was a little bit short, but again, has moved through the routine nicely and lands that dismount with a stick. I'm telling you, they're contagious.
Another stuck dismount for Clemson as we look back at it from Rebecca Wells.
You can see right here the handstands that we're looking at. That is a little bit short, but usually the judges will let you have within that 10-degree mark for what they're deducting. You saw that release move combination right there. She does a really good job right here on that double back with a full twist. Almost had to move that right foot, but she was gripping with her toes. You gotta be pumped about that.
Elizabeth Cesarone, this is her event. 33rd nationally in vault. She has won the vault title in all 3 of Pitt's meets this season.
Wow, that's a really impressive stat right there. Really nice Yurchenko full. Just like we've seen a lot of. She had great height and block off the table. Again, something that we pointed out. I like how she's able to break out of it, but we have not seen many sticks on vault. So those are where you're going to be making, how can you get 1% better? Where can you make up that extra tenth? And it is those landings.
She had stuck 2 of her 3 vaults entering tonight. Couldn't do so here at Little John Coliseum. So now the anchor on bars for Clemson, it is Quinn Cool, coming off of a career-high 9.875 on bars against Cal.
This is a great opportunity for her to step up in this position. You're the anchor on this event. We saw the mishap earlier, but every bar routine has just been really nicely done so far.
Wells picks up a 9.8 last go for Clemson.
Love that handstand on top of the bar. She does that release move, and she pulled in a little too close on that catch, which is what affected that overshoot. We saw another hand slip. Again, when you're doing a combination from a release move, the high bar down to the low bar, see how she just pulls in too close? She has to get enough power to swing down to the low bar, and was just unable to do that, unfortunately. She's getting back on the bar now, just has to finish off with that dismount. So getting ready right here for that double layout. Pretty dismount to end the routine. Again, those are uncharacteristic mistakes that they're having. They're little things that can be fixed. So that's the good news.
And bars have been Clemson's best event this season. They average 4.8992 per meet, 24th nationally on bars. So now we go to the exhibition. Here's Mika Lee.
Again, we see that Yurchenko full had a little bit of height down throughout the entire vault. The body shape is what the judges are looking at. You can see they have their celebration routine, dances, routines ready to go. You have to practice for things like that.
They are deep in their celebration bag today. We were told that they would be dropping some silly celebrations, as Casey Joe McPherson put it. And the Tigers, pretty strong vault rotation, just waiting for Quinn Coole's final score on bars. There is Casey Joe McPherson. We'll chat with her momentarily. The second-year head coach for Pittsburgh. As we wrap up our second rotation. And let's welcome in head coach Casey Joe McPherson. Coach, thanks for joining us. How do you feel that your team has handled competing in an environment like this tonight?
Yeah, there's tons of energy in here. The crowd is great, bringing a lot of energy and excitement, and we're just using that to fuel us and looking at it as energy for our team too.
Coach, I've got to ask, these dances and celebrations are amazing. Where did you all come up with them?
You know, we just wanted to have some fun tonight and come up with a variety of celebrations. So I think we've been using some inspiration from NFL and TikTok. You know, I'm actually not even sure what all we'll do tonight, but it's fun.
Well, it's certainly been enjoyable to watch. As we look towards the back half of this meet tonight, what are you looking to see from your team?
Yeah, we just want to come out and compete exactly like we practice every day and stay in our process and our bubble.
All right, Casey Joe McPherson, thank you, Coach. Best of luck the rest of the night.
Thank you.
When we get back, we'll take a look around the ACC here at Little John Coliseum. Clemson and Pitt locked in a battle. The Panthers look to pull off the upset on the road.